and we'll go through. Okay, so I thought maybe since some of us have been traveling and or maybe just sitting more, maybe not, we would start with we'll focus a lot on lower body and hips today, loosening those up and doing some poses that access hips. And we'll start with a little bit of kind of lymph mobility for the lower body. So we'll start in standing. And in standing, let's just, and you guys can adjust your computers if you need to. We'll find the inferior borders here of the ribs. And let's just start by doing a little bit of softly gliding down here. So we're just coming along the edges of those ribs and just working our fingers down, kind of loosening up that skin and fascia there, the abdominal muscles. Kind of coming out to the side there. Good. And then in the belly, kind of start in the midline, and we're going to sweep straight down towards the belly button, and then kind of just scoot around it to the center. So we're going to go down towards the belly button, and around towards the center. We're just going to kind of mobilizing where some of these lymph channels are in the abdomen before we go down to the legs. Good. And then now let's kind of come down the other side. So in the center, just gently gliding down towards the belly button, around it, and towards back to the midline. And then let's just take both hands under the belly button, sweep around and back up. I think I have a lot more belly than last Monday when we did. Good. Okay, now we're going to come down to your groin area, right where the crease is in your hip. And on the right side, kind of start closer to the pubic bone here. And we're just going to do little circles from the center out towards the hip bone there. And we'll come back. We'll do about 3 passes like that. Just kind of gentle pressure and circling along that groin line. And then let's come to the other side, kind of starting at the pubic bone and then circling out. Okay, and then we're going to come down to the back of the knee where the crease is, and we're just going to do some circles along that crease. On one side, and then let's switch to the other side. Good. And now you're going to kind of find the inside edge of your knee and sort of draw a line back up to the groin. So it's kind of like halfway between the front of the leg and that side or back of the leg. And we're just going to come up that line. So we're kind of coming along in between two big muscle belly bulks and along the area where neurovascular bundle is running here. One more kind of gentle pressure, little circles up the inside of the thigh. Good, and then we'll switch to the other leg. One more pass. Good. And then just come to the inside of the calf and let's just do some sweeps, kind of like from the ankle up. So you're kind of like between where the bone is and the muscle belly on the back of the calf. Good. And then let's switch to the other. Very good. All right. So let's grab whatever you like to kneel on, if it's a towel or something thicker like a bolster or even yoga block. And we're going to come down into half kneeling here. So it's helpful to have something under the kneeling knee. And then one leg forward. And you can do toes tucked or down right now, whatever feels better for you. And we're going to do a little bit of rocking. So from the butt, we're going to press forward and rock forward. And then we're going to sit the bottom back towards the heel, stretching that front leg. So right now I have right leg down, left leg up. Good. Okay, very good. And now, tuck the toes, take your pelvis, tuck your tailbone. And then right there, you should have a pretty good stretch already in the front of the right thigh. Keep the tailbone tucked, press forward just a little bit. Good. And then with the left hand on the left leg, I want you to take the right arm up towards the ceiling and then over to the left side. So the stretch coming up the front of the right leg into the right side of the body. And then I want you to take a deep breath into those ribs. Exhale. See if you can reach a little further over to the side. One more breath. Good. Exhale. Very good. Coming back down. All right, right here, let's check in with our asymmetric aura. So we're going to have tailbone kind of dropped towards the floor. Toes are tucked. Little squeeze from the bottom. Tiny lean forward. So you've got weight into the knee that is kneeling and some weight into the front left leg. Then let's take our aura arms, left hand connecting with the left thigh, right arm coming up towards the ceiling here. As you raise the arm up, keep your trunk in the same place. So don't let yourself dump back into that. Elbows are kind of pressing away from each other. And right here, we're going to practice 3 breaths. So we're going to breathe into the ribs and exhale. Breathing in. Exhaling, gently blowing the air out. Still growing tall. Last breath in. Exhaling. At the bottom here, hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Good. Keep trying to open that rib cage. Keep lifting the rib cage away from the pelvis. Take a breath and relax. Good. Bring the arm down and let's switch legs. So, however you did it, we're going to do the opposite. I have left leg down, right leg in front. And we're just going to do a little rocking here. You can have toes tucked or down. And we're going to lean forward, more pressure through that front leg, and then back. Stretching into the hamstring there. Good. Okay, now tuck the bottom knee, that tailbone. Tuck the tailbone. You should have a good stretch across the front of the hip. Give just a little bit of a lean to increase that stretch in the front of the right leg. Trunk is stacked on top, so you're not leaning back. Raise the right arm up overhead. Right hand is on the right leg, and then reach that arm like it's arcing over a rainbow to the other side. As you're reaching over, keep the tension in the front of the hip. Keep that glute pressing. Breathe into the ribs. Good, and then exhale. See if you can reach that arm, grow it even longer. Good. One more breath into the side ribs there. Then exhaling. Good. And coming back over. Okay. Right hand in aura is going to go down onto the right thigh. Left toes are tucked. Pelvis is in a neutral position. And we're going to give just a little bit of axis forward. So there's a little bit of a push through the heel on the back and a little bit of pressure into that front leg. So both legs are working and pressing away from you into the ground. Left arm in aura is going to reach up to high position. Don't let the trunk come with it. Keep the trunk stacked. Keep that tension through the front of the hip. Arm overhead. Elbows are pressing away from each other on a diagonal. And we're going to do our 3 breaths here. So breathing in. And exhale. Breathing in. Good, exhaling. As you're blowing out, you're still growing long and tall. Last breath in. Good. Exhaling, kind of emptying from the bottom of the belly out. At the bottom here, you're going to hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Good. Keep trying to open them wider. Trunk is growing taller, further away from the pelvis, and then breathe as you need to. Very good. Okay. Let's just come into symmetric aura here for one round. So both knees can be on the on your towel roll, and we're going to press up into neutral position. Arms in mid Athena here. I think I was saying aura before, I'm not sure. Athena arms. So hands are shoulder width apart. It's like you're inside of a barrel, inside of a big bubble, and you're pressing the shoulder blades wide away from each other, out through the elbows and out through the hands. So we're at shoulder height here. The toes are kind of pushing, the heels are pushing away from you. Head is growing tall through the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Now, in this position, see if you can shift your weight from your knees just a hair forward. So you're leaning forward just a little bit, and then we're going to do 2 breath cycle here. Very good. All right, breathing in. And exhaling. As you exhale, you're growing tall. You're keeping that trunk lifted up and away from the pelvis. Breathing in. Exhaling. At the bottom here, you're going to prepare the apnea. Hold your breath. Lift the wrist. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Now from here, shift your weight back. So you're leaning your bottom comes back towards your ankles. And you're going to slowly bring your hands down towards the mat. Good. So now we're kind of in gaia here. So in gaia, our fingertips are pointing towards each other. The palms of our hands are wide, about the width of the mat. Hips are over our knees. Toes are curled. You're pushing out through your heels, almost like you're going to pop up off of the floor. And you have weight in through the arms, so that the shoulder blades are still gliding away from each other. Your head is coming straight off of your body. And we're going to do a 3 breath cycle here. So breathing in. And exhale. And in. And exhale. Last breath in. Good. Blowing the air out. Hold your breath at the bottom. Lift the ribs. Keep opening, pulling those ribs open, feeling that draw your belly up away from the floor. And then take a breath in. Exhale. Stay here. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, imagine there's a tennis ball between your chin and your chest. And you're going to curl around that tennis ball. The crown of your head is reaching along an arc towards the floor. Keep reaching it. Back stays flat, but that neck is reaching and growing long. Breathe in here. Exhale. One more breath. And exhale. At the bottom, hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Breathe in. Good, and exhale. Okay. Sit back into a little child's pose. Give the arms a break. Good. Let's do a little rocking forward and back. If this is too much on your wrists, you can use the towel roll to prop the back of your hands up. Good. Okay, from here, let's bring our right foot up in between both hands. Actually, let's do it on the outside. Reach the bottom leg back. So we've got a stretch in the front hip and the back hip. If you want to increase the stretch on the back hip or make it a little bit harder, you can straighten that back leg. Either straighten it or bring it down. And while you're here, let's take, I've got right foot forward. So whichever foot is forward, you're going to take that arm and reach it up towards the ceiling for some rotation. Then we come down, reaching up. Good. Last one, you're going to reach up. And while the arm is up there, think about your spine growing long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Coming back down. Good. Now let's bring that right leg in front. So right knee is coming down. And we're going to glide the back leg back just a little bit more for kind of a pigeon stretch through the back of the hip. If this is too pinchy in the front of the hip, you place that towel roll there so you don't compress the front of the hip quite as much. You can rock back and forth if you want to just kind of loosen up different spots of the back of the hip. Good. All right, bringing that leg back onto hands and knees, and now we're going to switch. So left foot is coming in front, right foot is back. You're going to either have a stretch here or you can tuck the toes and press the knee up for a little bit more stretch through the front of that back leg. Good. And now my front leg is the left, so I'm going to take my left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling and then bring it down. So reaching, twisting up towards the ceiling, kind of follow your hand with your eyes. Last twist while you're here. Think about your spine growing long and taking a deep breath in. Good. Exhale. Coming down. Left foot is going to cross in front of our body. You're going to reach the back foot back a little bit more, lower down to your elbows, for more of a stretch behind the left hip. Good. Okay. Back to hands and knees. Let's take the right leg out to the side. Okay. And then from here, we're going to kind of rock back and forward. So we're getting more of an adductor stretch here. A little bit of hamstring as we rock back. Good. Then we'll bring the right leg in. Let's reach the left one out to the side. Sitting back, kind of shifting your weight back and forward. One more rock back. Very good. Okay, let's move into Maya so we can give the wrists a little bit of a break. So we're back onto hands and knees. Hips are over our knees, toes are tucked under. Now we're going to come down onto our forearms. So elbows are directly under our shoulders here. And then we don't want our weight shifted way back. It's going to be equal between the legs. You're pushing through your feet as if you could press up, and you have some pressure through your elbows. Your eyes are going to be gazing up kind of between your elbows. So your head is not lifted up, but it's also not dragging down. Elbows are pushing into the mat and wide. And in this position, we'll do a 3-breath cycle. So we're breathing in. And exhaling. We're breathing in. Feeling the ribs fill up all the way around, 360 degrees. Exhaling, feeling them empty from the bottom of the belly up. Last breath. Exhaling. Keep those arms active. Carrying the apnea at the bottom. Hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Breathing in. Exhaling. Very good. Now, one more breath here. Breathing in. Good. On the exhale, I want you to reach, keep the right leg on the floor, but reach it straight behind you. Breathe in. Good. Exhale. Bring the leg back in. Same thing on the other side. Breathing in. On the exhale, reach the right leg, put it on the floor, slide it behind you like it's on a rail. Breathing in. Exhaling, bringing the leg back in. Good. Now, bring the hands towards each other. So we're making a triangle here. Your elbows are going to go wider. Hands are making a triangle for you, and your head is coming down. Your forehead is just resting inside that triangle. You're pushing through your arms so you don't have pressure through your head. Good, that looks good. Breathing in. Exhaling. As you exhale, press the elbows into the floor away from you. Feel your shoulders widen. Good. Breathing in. Exhale. Last breath in here. Breathing in. Exhale, pushing through those arms, keeping them active, exhaling all the way at the bottom. Hold your breath, lift the ribs. Good, take a breath in and exhale. Okay, if you want, try taking one arm out straight. So into a high Venus. Your head's coming just off the floor here now. Other arm out straight into high Venus. And see, you're pushing into the floor. Hands are pushing away from you. And head is barely resting on the floor. So your arms are working hard here. We're going to do 2 breath cycle. Breathing in. Exhale. Good. Breathing in. And exhale. At the bottom, prepare the apnea, lift the ribs. Good, take a breath in. Exhale. Okay, you can relax out of that position. Bring your arms back in. Come back towards child's pose. Back up towards kneeling. From here, we're actually going to go up to standing. So we can bring one leg in front, press on that leg and come up to standing, or any other way that feels comfortable for you. Good. Okay, while we're here, let's just see a side view and let's check in with our forward bend. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to nod our head first towards our chest and then slowly roll down through the upper body. You can have a soft bend in your knees if you want and see how far down towards the floor you can get. And then unroll back up. Okay, so we're going to go through Venus and Athena, and then Artemis, which is the one where we're kind of looking over the edge, and then we'll take that into Hera, where we're rounding but keeping space. And then at the end of that series, we'll check in with our forward bending again. All right, so let's start with Venus. Remember, in standing, your feet are hip distance apart, so not super wide. You can check with your hand width. Let's lift all of our toes up off the ground, and then see if we can put them down one at a time. So reach the pinkies down, then those middle toes, and then the last thing, that big toe is going to come down. So they're all spread wide and connecting with the floor. and coming up to your knees. You guys can give me a side view if you want, if you haven't already. Coming up to your knees, slightly bent. And then we're coming up to that pelvic bell or bowl. We're going to check in, just tilt it backwards, tilt it forward. You can place your hands on the front hip bones or the pubic bone. And you're looking for what feels like a fairly neutral position, especially not tipped forward. And then trunk is going to be stacked on top. Take your hand to the back of your head and neck and just imagine reaching it. One hand on your tummy, so your trunk is staying here, stacked on top. One hand on the back of your head and neck, reaching, so they're kind of like reaching in opposite directions. Head is lifting up, trunk is staying neutral there. Good. Bring the arms down into a low Venus. They can be just in front of midline if that's more comfortable. And reach them away from each other, gliding the shoulder blades wide away from you. And then last thing is barely lean forward just from the ankle. So you can try a little shift where you feel more weight come into the toes, a little shift where you feel more weight come into the heel. But everything else about the position is staying the same. Good. So a little more weight into the ball of the foot. And here we're going to do our 3 breath cycle. Breathe in. And exhaling. We're just gazing out away from us at the wall across from us. Breathing in. And exhale. Breathing in with the last breath. Here's the good. Exhaling, blowing that air out from the bottom of the belly up. At the bottom, carry your apnea. Hold your breath, lift the ribs. Breathing in, exhale. Good. Let's come arms to mid-athena now. Hands at shoulder height and shoulder width, pressing away through the palms of the hands, wide through the elbows. Everything else is the same, neutral pelvis, soft knee, a little bit of weight through the ball of the foot. And we're going to breathe in here. And exhale. On the exhale, you have time to focus on your posture, growing long, stacking everything up. Inhale. And exhale. Emptying from the bottom of the belly, growing tall. Last breath in. Exhale. At the bottom, prepare the apnea, hold your breath, lift the ribs. Good. Keep growing, keep opening those ribs, pressing the palms away from you, getting the rib cage as big as you can. Breathing in and exhaling. Good. Bring those Athena arms down to your thigh, crease of your thigh here where we did the lymph before. Good. Reach the elbows away from you. Now, where your hands are is where you're going to bend forward as if you were leaning against a railing, and you're going to lean over the railing. Back is staying flat. Weight is still shifted forward. So we're not sitting way back like into a squat. We're leaning, we're looking over that railing. And then here we're going to breathe in. Ooh, that looks really good. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. Growing tall. Eyes are kind of looking at that spot where the wall meets the floor. Last breath in. Exhale. Hold your breath. Lift for the vacuum. Breathing in. Good. Stay here. Deep breath in. Now, on the exhale, you're going to reach that chin over the tennis ball. Head, crown of your head is growing over and arch towards the floor. You're allowing your hands to slide down to the center of your thigh, keeping space between the ribs and the pelvis. So you're arcing over a ball here, still growing long. And in this position, you're going to take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale. Hands are pushing into the thighs to keep that space on the front of you, even though you're rounded forward. Deep breath in. On the exhale, see, can you round the crown of your head towards the floor even more? You're trying to see if you can get a view of your belly here. Good. Last breath in. Exhaling. Wendy, see if you're able to bend forward even more. It feels okay. Rounding the heads, reaching towards the floor. Good. At the bottom here, hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Keep growing, making space on the front, feeling the back of the body grow even longer. Breathe in. Good. Round and roll back up to standing. Very good. Okay, let's check in with our forward bend. So remember, we're standing, we're going to look down at the ground, rolling, see if we can roll just through the back, then to the hips. Little bend, and soft bend in the knee, and seeing how far down you can bend and then put it back. Good. All right, and then you can come back up. Feels too good. No one wants to come up. Good. Was that further? Good. All right, we're going to go back to the floor. So we can come down half kneeling, however you'd like to come back down to the floor. Grab your towel, or actually don't get your towel, just like it's up to you. What we're going to be sitting on our bottom. And we're going to be leaning back on our arms here a little bit. Feet a little wider than hip distance apart, and the knees are bent. And then we're going to let both knees kind of fall over to one side. So we should have sort of like 90 degrees and 90 degrees here. And then we're going to shift them over to the other side. So we're going to do a little rocking back and forth here. Good. Now, with your knees pointed to the left and your left hand back, you're going to try pressing up and reaching that right arm over. And then coming back down. Good. We're going to shift the legs over to the right, press up on that right arm, left arm reaches up and over. Nice. Okay, now sitting on the bolster. Legs are crossed, toes and feet are dorsiflex or pulling back. Hands are on the hips or on the thighs here in low Athena. So we're connected with the thighs, legs are pressing out, hands are pressing into the thighs here. We're still trying to grow tall, even though we're in this sitting position. So we don't want to be collapsed back like that. Pressing, and then we're going to breathe in here. Let's do 2 cycles. So breathing in, exhaling. Good. Next breath in, opening the ribs. I want you to take your arms, rotate them up to high Venus. Exhale, keeping the arms up high. Hold your breath at the bottom, lift the ribs. Deep breath in, exhaling. Arms coming back to your thighs. Let's bring both feet out in front. Toes are flexed back. Hands on the thighs again in low Athena here. Push out through the heels. And let's bring the arms up into mid Athena. So wide hands, growing tall, breathing in here. Exhale. Good. Now breathing in, bring the arms up to high Athena. And exhale, grow the shoulders wide. Let's do one more breath here. Exhale. Good. Preparing the apnea. Hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Breathing in, exhaling. Good. Arms down. All right, let's take the bolster out. You're kind of in the side sitting position. So you're going to reach the down arm out and lower yourself onto your side, coming onto your back. And I think we're going to move into a little Aphrodite to get a little more stretching through the front of the hips. This was supposed to be in your email, and I don't think it came through. So we will do it now. All right, laying on your back. Let's check in with our back and how it's in contact with the floor. So check in with pelvis, a little bit of pelvic rocking, 12 to 6, finding that neutral position. Good. Come up to the head and neck, reach under that occiput or base of the head and just give yourself a little lengthening through the back of the neck there. Arms out by your side, palms up, reaching away from you. Now, legs are going to be wider than hip distance apart. Feet are closer than they are for Demeter. Flex the feet up, push through the heels. In this position, you're going to breathe in. Exhale. Breathing in again. Exhaling. Toes are pressing up. Fingers reaching wide. We're going to do one more breath. Exhaling, letting the air blow out from the bottom up. Preparing for the vacuum. The bottom of the breath. Hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Open into that vacuum. Now push the heels into the floor. Keep lifting the ribs as you press your hips up towards the ceiling. Stay there. Breathe in. Good. Exhale. Let's keep up high here. Pushing through the feet. Femurs growing long. Exhaling. Breathing in. Last breath here. You're going to exhale. Staying up. Hold your breath. Lift the ribs. Lower back down towards the floor. Take a breath and relax. Very good. Made it. You can relax your legs out. Let's just do 1 minute of quiet, relaxed breathing. You've been working hard. You've been lifting, changing, trying to increase your breath. Now just relax your legs into the floor. Relax your arms into the floor. Shake them out a little bit.